Just use your imagination. There are 2 million people coming from this side. On top of them there's a cool shade, the pillar of cloud. At night it changes into a pillar of fire. Now this is the ancient King's Highway. When Loretta and I were here some years ago, they discovered a huge column which says this is the ancient highway, a Roman column. Now in the background we have a huge wadi. This is a kind of a canyon. This used to be the border between Ammon and Moab. The 2 boys were born not far from here, next to the Dead Sea, children of Lot. So we are here on very historical ground. But when Israel came in here, to this side, there was a huge city called Arur. And Israel had to climb up here in order to conquer it. But the Lord said, I'm at your side, I will support you, you will gain the victory. So if you find yourself on hard territory, going uphill, if the Lord said you'll gain the victory, move forward. This is the historical site where the Amorites were defeated. It was also here that Jephthah, one of the judges, were fighting the Amorites. And they were getting too strong for him. And he said, God, if you give me the victory today, the first person coming out of my house, I will sacrifice. What a shock when he reached Ramon Gilead and his only daughter comes out. Sometimes it's very expensive to make a quick decision. You may lose a child. Be careful how you make decisions. It was also at Ramoth Gilead where Ahab was killed. He rejected the Elijah message and he was killed. And of course he got a tremendous big head after gaining a victory over Shalmaneser III in 853 at a place called Karkar at the Orontos in Syria. Don't get a big head. Success can be dangerous. But here we are in a biblical place with wonderful history. May God bless you as you ponder the precious lessons that can be learned at a site like this. God bless. Now this is Wadi Mujib, the Arabic name. The biblical name is Arnon, the river Arnon. It flows right down into the Dead Sea. On that side we had Moab. On this side we had Ammon. This was the ancient border. King Mesha and his god Chemosh lived over there. Just a few kilometers here, they discovered the Moabite stone, where it actually mentions the name of the king Mesha, his god Chemosh, the tetragrammaton, the 4-letter word of God, and words like Omri, Ahab. So another confirmation that the Bible is authentic. What you read in the Bible, you also read in archaeology. Famous place. You are looking at the results of a wrong choice. And in Isaiah it says that Babylon will be like Sodom. This is Sodom, it's modern Bab et Dra. A young man by the name of Lot came this way, that's Israel on that side, and they became wealthy, Abram and Lot. So Abram said, Lot, you have the first choice, make a choice. Now this was the most beautiful part on planet Earth. It was the Garden of Eden. It was so luxurious. They had 5 great cities here. Millions of people lived here. And Lot came and he put his tent close to the city, and then closer and closer and closer. And then eventually he found himself inside Sodom. That was dangerous. All he left was his courtesy. So you're looking at the excavations of the ancient gate. This is where the elders of the city met. This was the magistrate's court. Every case was decided here. So Lot was sitting here one evening, about this time, when he saw two strangers approaching the gate. And he said, "Friends, come and sleep with me." You know, this is such a great story. Now, the place where the sun sets is Hebron. When God destroys people, He first of all discussed the destruction with us. So He came to Abram and He said, "Abram, the wickedness of these cities know no bounds. I'm going to destroy it." And Abram said, "God, 50. If we find 50 people, will you save it?" Now, in this area, millions were living here. God, only 50. The Lord said, "Okay." He came down by another 10 and another 10. Eventually, God said, if there were only 10, 10 is the smallest in the Hebrew calendar yot, the smallest. God said, "I'll save the cities if we have 10 righteous people." Well, you can read the story in the Bible. It is so sad. Eventually, he got his daughters in the house, and the next morning, he couldn't leave the place. It was so beautiful. And angels just took them, and they fled to the mountains at our back. And Mrs. Lot missed her deep freeze and microwave, the polisher and the Jaguar, the air conditioner and Spur and a few other luxuries. She turned around. She became a pillar of salt. The word sodomy was born right here. This was the most wicked city. Luxury, prosperity can be dangerous. So if you are experiencing luxury today, ask God to protect you. If you suffer, thank the Lord, because you've got more time to pray. And this, Christ says in Matthew 24, is a type of how the world will be destroyed one day. As it was in the days of Noah, as it was in the days of Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah, so will it be at the end of time. You just see destruction. God doesn't want us to be destroyed. He wants us to be saved. So if He knocks at your heart, open your heart. Let the great restorer come in and restore you back to His original plan for your life. May God bless you as you meditate upon the story of Lot, Mrs. Lot, and the two children. We will be passing Lot's cave, where another tragedy struck the two daughters, the father, and two new civilizations. We've just come from this side, from Bab et Gra. Bab means gate. That's ancient Sodom. Then we passed Gomorrah, Navera. And now we're here at Lot's cave. It's up here, it's very steep, it's very late. But what happened, Lot and his wife and two of the daughters fled halfway here to a place called Zoar. He said, "Lord, please let me go to this small town." So he went there, but eventually God decided to also destroy Zoar, and Lot had to flee again. But in the meantime, his wife looked back at Sodom and Gomorrah, and she changed into a pillar of salt. Eventually, Lot and the two daughters came here, and they said to one another, "There's no man around here. How can we build a nation?" So what they did, they gave him wine. The one daughter slept with him. The following night, another daughter slept with him. And this is the origin right here of the Moabites and the Ammonites. They were not very successful. But in the Bible we read about Ruth, who was a successful woman. She married Boaz, which means in him is power. The story of salvation. God takes the degraded nations and says to them, come to me. I want to build you up. I want to restore you. So there's hope and there's grace in every tragedy in life. So if you have tragedy in your life, God specializes in people who has tragedies. God bless. Let's move on.